ENCOLAWS lawyer, patent and trademark attorneys, investment consultants, would like to wish you a productive day and update you on our legal document updates week the 3rd of April 2024 with the following contents. Bidding competition. Criteria for contractor selection under the Decree 24/2024. On February 27, 2024, the government issues the Decree number 24/2024, NDCP detailing a number of articles of and measures to implement the law on bidding regarding contractor selection. Bids shall be opened publicly within 2 hours after the time of bid closing. On February 27, 2024, the government issues Decree number 23/2024, NDCP detailing several articles and measures for implementation of the bidding law regarding the selection of investors to implement projects falling into cases subject to organization of bidding by specialized laws. Commerce advertising. Amending foreign trade development measures. On February 7, 2024, the government issues Decree number 14/2024, NDCP, on amending and supplementing several articles of the Decree number 28/2018, NDCP of March 1, 2018, detailing several articles of the law on foreign trade management regarding foreign trade development measures. Construction. Draft decree sets foreign ownership limit at apartment buildings. The Ministry of Construction is gathering public opinions on a draft decree guiding the 2023 housing law, proposing imposition of a 30% cap on foreign ownership at apartment buildings. Labor salary. Striving to reduce fatal occupational accidents at least 4% per year. On March 19, 2024, the Secretariat of CPV Central Committee on continuing to strengthen the party's leadership for occupational safety and hygiene in new situations. Medical health. PM calls for exerted efforts to fight tuberculosis. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has urged ministries, sectors, central and local authorities to thoroughly implement the National Tuberculosis Prevention and Control Strategy. Tax fee charge. Decree on value-added tax reduction in 2024. The government issued the decree on providing the value-added tax reduction policy under the National Assembly's Resolution number 110/2023, QH-15, dated November 29, 2023. The following is the detailed content. Bidding competition. Criteria for contractor selection under the Decree 24/2024. On February 27, 2024, the government issues the Decree number 24/2024, NDCP detailing a number of articles of and measures to implement the law on bidding regarding contractor selection. Accordingly, expenses for contractor selection are regulated as follows. The expense for formulation or appraisal of a general plan on contractor selection equals 0.5% of the expense for formulation of a feasibility study report, but must be between VND 5 million and VND 40 million. Expenses for making an appraisal of dossiers. The expense for making of a dossier of invitation for expression of interest or dossier of invitation to pre-qualification equals 0.1% of the price of the bidding package, but must be between VND 0.2 million and VND 30 million. The expense for appraisal of a dossier of invitation for expression of interest or dossier of invitation to pre-qualification equals 0.06% of the price of the bidding package, but must be between VND 0.2 million and VND 30 million. The expense for making of a bidding dossier or dossier of requirements equals 0.2% of the price of the bidding package, but must be between VND 0.3 million and VND 60 million. The expense for appraisal of a bidding dossier or dossier of requirements equals 0.1% of the price of the bidding package, but must be between VND 2 million and VND 60 million. Expenses for evaluation of dossiers. The expense for evaluation of a dossier of expression of interest or dossier of participation in pre-qualification equals 0.1% of the price of the bidding package, but must be between VND 0.2 million and VND 30 million. The expense for evaluation of a bid dossier or dossier of proposals equals 0.2% of the price of the bidding package, but must be between VND 0.3 million and 60 million. The expense for appraisal of contractor selection result, including cases of failure to select contractors, equals 0.1% of the price of the bidding package, but must be between VND 0.3 million and VND 60 million. Decree number 24/2024, NDCP, takes effect on February 27, 2024. Bids shall be opened publicly within 2 hours after the time of bid closing. On February 27, 2024, the government issues Decree Number 23, 2024, NDCP detailing several articles and measures for implementation of the bidding law regarding the selection of investors to implement projects falling into cases subject to organization of bidding by specialized laws. Firstly, bids shall be opened publicly within 2 hours after the time of bid closing, and investors' bid dossier shall be evaluated as valid when fully meeting the following conditions. The original dossier is available. There are valid bid application forms bearing signatures and seals, if any, of lawful representatives of investors, as required by the bidding dossier. For a joint name, the bid application form must bear the signatures and seals, if any, of the lawful representative of every joint name member. An assigned member may sign the bid application form on behalf of the joint name, if so agreed in the joint name agreement. The bid dossier's validity satisfies the requirements prescribed in the bidding dossier. The investor must not be named in 2 or more bid dossiers as an independent investor or a member of the consortium. Secondly, bid dossiers' evaluation methods have a scale of 100 or 1,000 points, provided the total score ratio must be 100% within that. Score of capacity and experience accounts for from 20% to 30% of the total scores. Score of business investment plan accounts for from 20% to 50% of the total scores. Score of sectoral and local development investment efficiency accounts for from 30% to 50% of the total scores. Additionally, a roadmap for the application of the e-selection of contractors. From January 1, 2025, carry out the procedures for invitation for expression of interest in the country following Article 61 of this decree on the Vietnam National E-Procurement System, hereinafter referred to as the system. From July 1, 2025, carry out online selection of investors for business investment projects, for which open bidding or restricted bidding is organized according to the single-stage single-envelope method or single-stage two-envelope method of this decree on the system. For business investment projects subject to international bidding, online selection of investors shall not be applied, provided that the project information shall be disclosed on the system. This circular takes effect on the signing date. Commerce Advertising. Amending foreign trade development measures. On February 7, 2024, the government issues Decree Number 14, the 2024, NDCP, on amending and supplementing several articles of the Decree Number 28, 2018, NDCP of March 1, 2018, detailing several articles of the Law on Foreign Trade Management regarding foreign trade development measures. Some important contents is prescribed in the Decree 14 as follows. A foreign trade promotion organization wishing to establish a Vietnam-based representative office shall send 1 dossier of application for a license for the establishment of a Vietnam-based representative office to the provincial level Department of Industry and Trade, the licensing agency of the locality where the representative office is expected to be located. Within 20 days of receiving a complete dossier, the licensing agency shall consider it and grant to the foreign trade promotion organization a license for the establishment of the representative office. If refusing to grant a license, the licensing agency shall issue a written reply, clearly stating the reason. In case it is required to consult the Ministry of Public Security and/or Ministry of National Defense under Clause 8 of this article, the time limit for granting a license is 40 days after the receipt of a complete dossier. After granting to a foreign trade promotion organization a license for establishment of Vietnam-based representative office, the licensing agency shall send an electronic license to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, Ministry of National Defense, Ministry of Public Security, provincial-level departments of industry and trade nationwide, and provincial-level agencies of the locality where the representative office is located, including the provincial-level People's Committee, Tax Office, Statistics Office and Public Security Agency, and publish such on the licensing agency's website. The decision takes effect on March 25, 2024. Construction. Draft decree sets foreign ownership limit at apartment buildings. The Ministry of Construction is gathering public opinions on a draft decree guiding the 2023 housing law, proposing imposition of a 30% cap on foreign ownership at apartment buildings. As per the draft, foreign organizations and individuals might own a maximum of 30% of the total number of apartments of an apartment building. Such rate would also be applied to each block of apartment buildings, with multiple blocks sharing the same base and mixed-use apartment buildings. For individual houses, such as terraced houses, independent houses and villas, the number of houses to be owned by foreigners would be determined on the basis of the population equivalent to that of a ward, which is set at 10,000 people. Accordingly, in an area with a population of 10,000 people where exists only one housing development project, the foreign ownership limit would be kept at 10% of the total number of individual houses, or 250 houses, whichever is greater. In case there is more than one housing development project in an area with a population of 10,000 people, the limit of 10% would be applied to each project, but the total number of houses owned by foreign entities at all projects must not exceed 250. Besides, in case the number of foreign-owned individual houses at housing development projects in an area has reached the law-prescribed limit, foreign entities would not be permitted to purchase and own individual houses at other projects in that area. Noteworthily, foreign entities would not be allowed to own houses at projects in areas of national defense and security significance. These areas include critical areas for national defense and security assurance within provincial territories, border communes, border-adjacent areas and islands, areas where exist military bases and armed forces, areas where exist headquarters or offices of state and party agencies from the provincial level and above, and other areas specified by the Ministry of National Defense and Ministry of Public Security. The draft also outlines required documents for foreign organizations or individuals to prove their eligibility to own houses in Vietnam. Foreign organizations must possess an investment registration certificate or other documents issued by Vietnamese authorities to demonstrate that they are permitted to operate in Vietnam. These documents must be valid at the time such foreign organizations enter into transactions related to housing ownership. Meanwhile, foreign individuals must produce valid foreign passports, along with written commitments stating their ineligibility for diplomatic privileges and immunities. They must also reside in Vietnam at the time of conducting housing ownership transactions and provide documents proving their compliance with the 2023 housing law regarding the acquisition of properties. Labor salary. Striving to reduce fatal occupational accidents at least 4% per year. On March 19, 2024, the Secretariat of CPV Central Committee on continuing to strengthen the party's leadership for occupational safety and hygiene in new situations. A number of important contents is prescribed as follows. Striving to reduce occupational accidents, particularly serious occupational accidents, with the rate of fatal occupational accidents reduced by at least 4% per year. The number of workers working in environments exposed to risk factors being examined and detected for occupational diseases increases by at least 5% per year, and the number of facilities generating hazardous factors that are monitored for working environment increases by at least 5% per year. Innovating and diversifying information dissemination methods suitable for different worker groups, with attention paid to industries and fields with high risks. Improving the effectiveness of safety and hygiene events, attracting participation from enterprises and workers in the Month of Action on Occupational Safety and Hygiene and Workers' Month on an annual basis. Paying attention to occupational safety and hygiene for groups of female workers, minors, people with disabilities, the elderly, domestic workers, apprentices, probationers and subleased workers, and Vietnamese guest workers. Strictly managing occupational safety and hygiene training services, monitoring the working environment, providing periodic health checks, examinations and detection of occupational diseases, inspecting machines, equipment, and materials with strict requirements on occupational safety. The directive takes effect on the signing date. Medical health. PM calls for exerted efforts to fight tuberculosis. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has urged ministries, sectors, central and local authorities to thoroughly implement the National Tuberculosis Prevention and Control Strategy. According to the Prime Minister Telegram, 25, the CDTTG of March 25, 2024, communications work is considered a long-term and important task for the entire political system from central to grassroots levels, with the healthcare sector being the cornerstone, says the Telegram. Among the several tasks assigned by the leader, chairpersons of the People's Committees of centrally run localities are instructed to strengthen the capacity of the healthcare system in TB diagnosis and treatment, while effectively implementing community-based TB prevention and control measures. Meanwhile, the Minister of Health is requested to complete and issue guidelines for the detection of TB, latent TB, and some respiratory diseases in the community and healthcare facilities. Additionally, there is a need to enhance international cooperation and ensure domestic resources, especially medicine. His dispatch in this regard said TB prevention and control activities have achieved commendable results in recent years. However, the annual death toll remains high, at approximately 13,000, while many cases within the community remain undetected. According to the World Health Organization, WHO's 2023 report, the TB situation in Vietnam is still severe, ranking 11th out of the 30 countries burdened with the disease and the highest drug-resistant TB rate globally. Tax fee charge. Decree on value-added tax reduction in 2024. The government issued the decree on providing the value-added tax reduction policy under the National Assembly's Resolution No. 110, 2023, QH 15, dated November 29, 2023. Accordingly, the decree prescribes the reduction of the value-added tax rate for commodity and service groups currently subject to the value-added tax rate of 10%, except the following goods and service groups: telecommunications, finance, banking, securities, insurance, real estate business, metals, precast metal products, mineral products, excluding coal exploitation, coke, refined petroleum, and chemical products. Details in Appendix I to this decree. Goods and services liable to excise tax. Details in Appendix II to this decree. Information technology, as prescribed by the Law on Information Technology. Details in Appendix III to this decree. Accordingly, the reduction of value-added tax for each goods or service item specified in Clause 1 of this article shall be uniformly applied at all stages of import, production, processing and trading. Coal mined for sale, including also coal mined and then sorted out and classified under a closed process before sale, is eligible for VAT reduction. Note: coal products specified in Appendix I to this decree, which are at stages other than the stage of mining for sale, are not eligible for VAT reduction. Corporations and economic groups that carry out a closed process to sell coal products are also subject to value-added tax reductions for sold coal products. In case the goods and services provided in Appendices 1, 2, and 3 to this decree are not liable to value-added tax, or are subject to the value-added tax rate of 5%, and the goods and services are not eligible for value-added tax reduction. Decree number 94, 2023, NDCP, takes effect on January 1, 2024 to the end of June 30, 2024.